Part 3. As long as I stay in the Empress Palace, I am invincible. Author, New Did. Chapter 21. Everyone, that's it for today. Xuanhuan said softly. The wise men have met, everyone has tasted the potatoes, and today's goal has been successfully achieved. There are additional bonuses. The Liang family no longer needs to pay back their food, and the Liang family also donated 2 million taels of silver. Best farewell to your majesty, and best wishes to the emperor and empress. Everyone stood up and said in unison. Yechen and Xuanhuan left the Juxian building together. The old man transformed by the scorpion spirit was waiting outside. When Yechen came out, he immediately greeted him respectfully, with a faint look of pain on his face. Empress. The old man salutes. Yechen knew that this guy had not actually purified himself, but he still looked concerned and said, Eunuch Lu, you have just purified yourself. Do you need to find a sedan for you? The old man's self-reported name was Lu Zhongliang. There is a high probability that there really is such a person in the Tianyuan dynasty who was eaten by the scorpion spirit, who disguised himself as the other person. Thank you, Empress, for your concern, but it's not necessary. The old slave has a level of cultivation at the level of a god king. Eunuch Lu said respectfully. Then follow. Yechen got on the sedan chair. It didn't take long for Xuanhuan's dragon chariot and Yechen's phoenix chariot to return to Tianyuan Imperial Palace. Empress, I have other things to do, so I won't send you to Fengming Palace. Lu Zhongliang, I hope you are as loyal as your name. If the Empress makes any mistake, I will never let you off lightly. Do you understand? Xuanhuan opened the sedan curtain and said. Yes, Your Majesty. Lu Zhongliang saluted respectfully, but he still had no intention of attacking Xuanhuan. The old eunuch next to Xuanhuan stared at him. Let's go. Xuanhuan's dragon chariot left. Yechen said calmly, his phoenix chariot returned to Fengming Palace half an hour later. At this point, Yechen felt completely relieved. Not to mention that Lu Zhongliang only has the cultivation level of the 9th level of the God Emperor. Even if he is a strong man at the level of the Great Emperor, he will not be able to make waves here. Within 100 meters, the companion god Willow has the strength of a holy master. There are people with semi-saint level strength within a range of 500 meters. Lu Zhongliang, who is at the 9th level of God Emperor, is just a scumbag in front of the companion god Lu, who has no power to resist at all. Eunuch Lu, follow me. Yechen said calmly. In public, he calls himself I, but in private he is too lazy to call himself I, he says it awkwardly. Yes, Empress. Lu Zhongliang nodded, the respect in his eyes obviously weakened. There are several God Emperor level experts around Xuanhuan, and there are probably other God Emperor level experts who are secretly paying attention. Yechen himself only has a mere acquired level of cultivation, and there are no powerful experts around him at all. With the cultivation of the 9th level of the God Emperor, Lu Zhongliang could sense clearly when he arrived here that the most powerful people in Fengming Palace were Chunlin and his 4 maids. Yechen took Lu Zhongliang to the backyard. There was a lounge chair next to the companion Zhenliu, and Yechen lay down comfortably and snapped his fingers. Snapping your fingers is a signal. The companion Zhenliu instantly and silently created a powerful barrier around it. No matter what happened inside, it seemed to the others that Yechen was sleeping. Even if the consciousness of an emperor-level powerhouse swept over, they would not notice anything unusual. Kneel down. Yechen said softly. Lu Zhongliang's eyes flashed fiercely, but for his own plan, he still knelt down next to Yechen. Empress, is there anything I did wrong that I didn't do well? Lu Zhongliang asked. Yechen half smiled but said, Lu Zhongliang, tell me, you, a scorpion spirit from the 9th level of the God Emperor, why are you trying to get to the palace? Lu Zhon was greatly shocked. How could Ye Chen know that he was a monster and accurately say that he was a scorpion spirit? Call. The evil wind rushed towards him, and Lu Zongliang's claws grabbed Ye Chen's neck like iron claws. Ye Chen is the Empress, so if he catches Ye Chen, he should be able to leave alive. Now that he's been discovered, it's impossible to complete the mission. Boom. At this moment, a thin willow branch hit Lu Zhongliang. Lu Zhongliang suddenly felt as if he had been hit by the tail of an emperor-level dragon. His body shot out dozens of meters like a cannonball and hit the barrier heavily. Lu Zhongliang was directly knocked out of his original shape and turned into a huge poisonous scorpion more than 10 meters long, with dark green blood spurting out of his mouth. Roar. After changing back to his original form, Lu Zongliang's strength increased a lot, and he pounced on Ye Chen again. Boom. Lu Zongliang's body was whipped away again. His head was almost blown open by a thin willow stick. Come here and kneel or die. Ye Chen smiled lightly. Lu Zhongliang turned back into his human form and knelt in front of Ye Chen again, feeling extremely bitter in his heart. It was already amazing that he had concealed his cultivation at the 9th level of the God Emperor, but he didn't expect that Ye Chen would actually conceal his cultivation at the Great Emperor level. In Lu Zongliang's opinion, Ye Chen must be a top Emperor level expert. The willow tree that just took action has the strength of an emperor. This willow tree's strength will never be stronger than Ye Chen's strength. Tell me what you want to do when you secretly enter the palace. Ye Chen said curiously. Lu Zhongliang hesitated and said, after returning to the emperor, the slaves sneaked into the palace to rescue the ancestors in the Demon Suppression Tower. Demon Suppression Tower. Ye Chen was confused. Lu Zhongliang said quickly, Empress, you have not been in the Tianyuan Emperor's palace for a long time. You may not know that there is a Demon Suppression Tower in the mountain behind the Tianyuan Emperor's palace. Since ancient times, many powerful demons have been banned in the Demon Suppression Tower. I have an ancestor who is sealed inside, and I want to rescue him. Ye Chen looked at Lu Zhongliang with a half-smile, and his companion Shen Lu told him that Lu Zhongliang lied. I'll give you one last chance. If you still act clever, you will become the nourishment of this big willow tree today. Lu Zongliang's expression changed slightly, and he lowered his head and said, Empress, I'll tell you the truth. In fact, I don't want to save people, but I want to find an opportunity to release that ancestor of yours, and then devour his blood, and strive to break through to the level of the great emperor. After being in the demon suppressing tower for a long time, the strength of my ancestor must have been reduced a lot. With my current strength, I should be able to devour him. The companion Shen Lu didn't remind him. This time Lu Zhongliang told the truth. Empress, I will never think about a breakthrough in the future. I am loyal to the Empress with all my heart. I beg the Empress to spare my life. Lu Zhongliang kept kowtowing. Ye Chen looked at Lu Zhongliang. Although your strength is a bit weaker, you are still at the 9th level of the God Emperor. It's okay to do odd jobs. Lu Zhongliang said quickly, thank you very much, the Empress, for your kindness. Thank you very much, the Empress, for your kindness. Ye Chen said calmly, that's all, I'll accept you first. If you perform well, you'll survive. If you don't perform well, you'll be the fertilizer. Speaking of this, the demon refining pot appeared in Ye Chen's hand. This demon refining pot is just a replica, but it is also a very powerful treasure, capable of refining demons at the level of the great emperor. I haven't tried this treasure yet, please try it out. Ye Chen said and put away Lu Zhongliang with the demon refining pot. Lu Zhongliang immediately felt the terrifying aura of the demon refining pot. Ah, ah. Soon, Lu Zhongliang screamed repeatedly in the demon refining pot. He felt as if his body and soul were being crushed inch by inch. Emperor and Empress, have mercy on me. Empress and Empress, have mercy on me. Lu Zhongliang screamed in horror. Based on his current situation, he would be completely refined within 10 breaths. I forgot to unlock your strength first. Ye Chen's voice came in, and the power of the accompanying Shen Liu also entered. Lu Zhongliang regained the strength of the 9th level of the God Emperor. Ah! As his strength increased, the pain Lu Zhongliang felt became more intense, and with the strength of the 9th level of the God Emperor, he would be completely refined in one day. Eunuch Lu, please bear with me for a while. I'm sleepy and I'll take a nap first. Ye Chen yawned and said. As long as I stay in the Empress Palace, I am invincible. Author, New Di. Chapter 22. 2 hours later, Ye Chen woke up and released Lu Zhongliang. Emperor and Empress, please don't let your servant go in again. Your servant will definitely work for you, Empress and Empress. Lu Zhongliang knelt on the ground and cried bitterly, kowtowing desperately. The past 2 hours were longer than 2 years to him, and every second was torture. Eunuch Lu, look at you, you look so worthless, isn't it just 2 hours? Ye Chen glanced at Lu Zhongliang and said with contempt. Lu Zhongliang had a grimace on his face. The 2 hours that Ye Chen slept outside naturally passed quickly. He's in there and it's so hard. Eunuch Lu, I'm afraid you still don't know the rules in the palace. Learn them carefully in the next few days. And be strict with your mouth. If the others know about my situation, you can stay in the demon refining pot. Ye Chen said calmly. Yes, Empress. Lu Zhongliang secretly breathed a sigh of relief. Ye Chen said that he should have passed the test for the time being. As long as he performs well, nothing should happen to him in the future. Ye Chen waved his hand, and Lu Zhongliang immediately stepped back knowingly. The companion god Willow silently lifted the barrier, and no one noticed anything unusual. There is actually a demon suppressing tower in the back mountain. Ye Chen murmured to himself. The demon suppression tower sounds very simple. If you sign in there, you should be able to get very good rewards. You can try signing in here in the future. There is a high probability of S-level rewards. If luck breaks out, there may be SS-level rewards. Ye Chen thought happily. In the Yangtai Hall, the Queen Mother was not in a good mood. The King of Changping, Luo Yuan Liang, came to greet her and told her about the losses suffered by the Liang family. The Liang family supports the Queen Mother, Prince Mu, and Prince Changping. Every year they get a lot of benefits from the Liang family. The Liang family will not be able to recover in 10 years. The Queen Mother and the others must have been affected. The beauty doesn't have so many tricks up her sleeves. This matter might have something to do with the Empress Ye Chen. Queen Mother Du's eyes flashed with cold light. Luo Hongjian came to see her about eunuch Cao's matter. On the surface, the matter was in the past, but Mrs. Du held a grudge. Mother, she is really related to Ye Chen, and the potato seeds probably came from Ye Chen. Luo Yuanliang said with a gloomy expression. If there was no such thing as potatoes, several major grain merchants could make a lot of money, and they could secretly gain a lot of benefits. Prince Mu wants to regain the throne and needs financial support. How is that possible? She didn't believe it. Luo Yuanliang said, Mom, I conducted an investigation. Before the official distributed potato planting grains, someone saw potatoes planted in the 2 acres of fields in the backyard where Ye Chen lives. The leaves are exactly the same. This bastard should have given the potato seeds to Luo Hongjian, and Luo Hongjian had people cultivate more seeds. The murderous intent surged in the Queen Mother's heart. Ye Chen would be even more damned if this happened. Mom, there is an old guy who is in the 7th level of the God King and wants to be a eunuch in the palace. Ye Chen asked him to go to Fengming Palace. If you want to kill him, now is a very good time. The Queen Mother nodded slightly. If you kill Ye Chen at this time, you can place Ye Chen's death on Lu Zhongliang. You go back first. Queen Mother Du waved her hands and said. Luo Yuanliang stood up and left. Go and ask eunuch Cai to come over. Du Shi said. Eunuch Cai is the most powerful person under Queen Mother Du. He possesses the 6th level of cultivation of the God Emperor and is terrifyingly powerful. Queen Mother. It didn't take long for Eunuch Cai to arrive in front of Mrs. Du. He stood and bowed without kneeling. Eunuch Cai, you should have heard about Eunuch Cao. Now the Empress Yechen has done something that makes the Ai family hateful. This person can no longer be kept. Does Eunuch Cai have a good way? Du asked. If Yechen is dealt with, maybe Eunuch Cao can return. Queen Mother Du now has several reasons to kill Yechen. Empress, I have recently developed a special poison that is silent and odorless and cannot be detected by ordinary means. Although its toxicity is not very strong, it is enough to poison people below the God King. And it happens every other day. The Empress was poisoned tonight, and tomorrow will be the day he dies. Eunuch Cai said calmly. His cultivation level at the 6th level of the God Emperor is tyrannical, and he has secretly conducted in-depth research on poisons. Eunuch Cai, take action yourself and don't make any mistakes. Yes, Queen Mother. Eunuch Cai left quietly, and in just half an hour he succeeded in poisoning the Queen Mother. The poisoning has been completed, and the Empress will die suddenly tomorrow night. Eunuch Cai returned with a calm and authentic voice. Although the Emperor and Empress had a noble status, in his opinion, killing them was no big deal. Over the years, under Du's orders, he has killed many people. Eunuch Cai, thank you for your hard work. Du Shi smiled and said. Eunuch Cai bowed and left. In Fengming Palace, the Emperor's dinner was jointly inspected by several people and tasted by a dedicated person before being served to the table by the maid. 12 in total. This was the result of Yechen's initiative to reduce the amount. When eating one of the dishes, Yechen was startled. He has a level of cultivation at the level of a God Emperor, and possesses a Sun God body, so he is very sensitive to toxins. This dish is poisonous. Sharp. Yechen checked it with his own spiritual sense. If he didn't eat it, the simple spiritual sense detection would not find any abnormality. He is a strong man at the level of the God Emperor. Even if a person at the level of the God King eats it, he probably won't find any abnormality. Who poisoned me? Yechen's eyes flashed with cold light, and it was obviously aimed at him. Soon, the appearance of Queen Mother Du appeared in Yechen's mind. Lu Zhongliang had just joined Fengming Palace. If he, the Emperor and Empress, died soon, Lu Zhongliang would be the first suspect. The Liang family suffered a huge loss, and the Queen Mother should be unable to bear it. Yechen thought to himself that someone had poisoned him at this time, and Yechen had no other suspect except the Queen Mother. Lu Zhongliang didn't have such courage at all. Lu Zhongliang wasn't that stupid either. This poison could only kill people below the level of the God King. It tastes good. Yechen ate some more even though he knew it was poisonous. Once this bit of poison entered his body, his Sun God body would quickly clean it up. While Yechen was enjoying dinner, Lu Zhongliang was still learning the rules with an old eunuch from Fengming Palace. They arrived at the lake in the backyard. Eunuch Lu, did you see that big willow tree? The Emperor and Empress have ordered that you must not get close to it. That is a lucky tree planted by the Emperor and Empress herself. The Emperor and Empress have watered it with a lot of spiritual water. The old eunuch said solemnly. Lu Zhongliang was stunned. Eunuch Hong, was that big willow tree planted by the Emperor and Empress herself? Of course. Originally it was just a small sapling. The Emperor and Empress kept watering it with spiritual water to make it grow so big. The Emperor and Empress liked to lie next to it and bask in the sun. Lu Zhongliang's eyes were full of shock. The big willow tree has at least the strength of the 5th level of the Emperor. How long has Yechen been here at Fengming Palace? It is impossible for a top Emperor level figure to cultivate such a powerful spiritual plant in such a short time. The Emperor and Empress should be half saints. Lu Zhongliang took a breath of cold air. In this era, a half-saint is already a legendary figure, and Ye Chen is actually a half-saint. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. As long as I stay in the Empress Palace, I am invincible. Author, New Di. Chapter 23. 5 or 6 days passed in the blink of an eye, and the news that the emperor, hundreds of officials, relatives of the emperor, and many celebrities were eating potatoes together had spread throughout the Tianyang dynasty. On the outskirts of Tianyang Emperor's palace, countless people gathered together. Can potatoes really achieve a yield of 50 shi per mu? That's what your majesty said. His majesty's golden words should not be false, but this is too surprising. The food is only 4 or 5 stones, this is 10 times more. Many people were talking about it. The potatoes are ripe, and today the government will try to dig a few acres of land. These people came to watch the excitement. The auspicious time has come, let's dig the first acre of potatoes. Someone from the government said in a loud and authentic voice. The tens of thousands of people gathered here quickly fell silent. Wei Zhongfeng, please. Xuanhuan, the Minister of Household Affairs, cupped his hands and said nervously. He had been so worried that he often couldn't sleep in the past few months. Natural disasters reduce food supplies sharply. There was another flood later. If Luo Hongjian hadn't borrowed all the grain from several major grain merchants and released it, many people would have starved to death in the past month. Boom. Wei Gongfeng took action, and his powerful power poured into the earth, causing the ground to roll immediately. A large number of round potatoes quickly emerged from the ground. Hiss, so many. This looks like it's really worth 50 stones. A large number of people around were excited. Although the people behind could not see it, they could also hear the discussions of the people in front. Gather. Wei Gongfeng is a master invited by Xuanhuan. He has a god-king level of cultivation and is good at controlling earth attribute power. His mighty power enveloped all the potatoes that emerged. All the potatoes in an acre of field were gathered together. A bunch of bosses. No need to clean all the potatoes to get them all clean. Weigh yourself now. Xuanhuan said excitedly. He made a rough estimate and found that these potatoes should exceed 60 dan. In 10 minutes, the yield of the first acre of field came out. 64 stones. Hiss. Such a high output. The people around were excited, and many people burst into tears. Even if the harvest in their own fields is less than half, they will be very satisfied. Wei Gongfeng, please continue. Xuanhuan took a deep breath and said. The output of the second, third, and fourth acres will all come out in half an hour. They are 67 stones, 62 stones, and 65 stones. All exceeded 60 stones. This kind of output is scary. Zhang Shangshu, is this fraud? Are these acres of land used for spiritual water or something? Someone in the crowd questioned that this person came from the Chai family, one of the major grain merchants. The Chai family did not borrow food this time. There are still a lot of grains in granaries everywhere. Today, food prices are still very high, but it is foreseeable that if there is a bumper potato harvest in various places, food prices will inevitably plummet. Xuanhuan looked over coldly and said calmly, the potatoes are ripe, there is no need for the court to cheat. Many people nodded. They know whether spiritual water is used in their fields, and they will know the yield when they dig it out. I can't wait, get back to digging now. Let's go together. The people left one after another, and many people ran back. They wanted to dig out the potatoes they grew at home to see the yield. The government sent many people to each village to conduct statistics. After half a day, Xuanhuan obtained information on many villages around the Tianyang dynasty. The average output exceeds 60 stones. Your Majesty, good news, great news. Xuanhuan immediately entered the palace to meet the saint, and he looked extremely excited. How many? Luo Hongjian said slightly nervously. Although she knew it would definitely be good, she still couldn't help being nervous. Grain production is related to the lives of countless people. Xuanhuan took a deep breath and said, Your Majesty, the yield of a large number of fields around the imperial city has been calculated, and the average yield per mu is 61 stones. Luo Hongjian let out a long breath. This yield is better than she expected. Okay, good. Announce the good news immediately. Luo Hongjian said happily. Xuanhuan left quickly, and it didn't take long for the official to make a report. The average yield of 61 stones per unit of land blinded countless people. Is this food output going to plummet? That's for sure. Many people in the city were talking about it. About 10% of the grain borrowed by the government had not been sold out, and some people immediately discovered that the price of government grain had dropped. Break the waste directly. But even so, no one buys food. Down by half again. When the news reached Luo Hongjian smiled lightly and said that she must bring down the price of food. The price of 12 cents per catty suddenly dropped to only 6 cents per catty. Master, it's bad, the price of food has dropped by half again. Several major grain merchants were trembling. The plummeting food prices cannot be stabilized even if they want to. Even if they pay to buy the grain owned by the government, it is impossible for the people who have a good potato harvest to buy their high-priced grain. New grains will be on the market after a while. 6 articles, 4 articles, 3 articles. The next day, the price of grain continued to decrease, and potato harvests were achieved everywhere in the Tianyang dynasty. In some places with fertile soil, potato yields can reach 70 to 80 shi per acre. The Chai family and the Su family want to cry but have no tears. They are the 2 major grain merchants in the Tianyang dynasty who have not borrowed grain. In order to stabilize the grain price during this period, they actually secretly bought a lot of official grain. The normal price of grain is only 2 cents. They invested a lot in grain speculation before, and the comprehensive cost of a large amount of grain in the warehouse reached 7 or 8 cents. Now it has dropped to 3 cents, which is a huge loss. And judging from the current trend, the grain price will definitely fall, and it may even fall below the previous price. Sell it. Sell it as fast as possible, sell as much as you can. The head of the Chai family said with an extremely ugly face that the country has added a new grain with high yield, and it is very likely that the grain price will drop by half again. Rush to sell it now, and you can lose less money at that time. The Su family did the same thing. Originally, the Chai family and the Su family communicated with each other, and no one would lower the price. They could make a lot of money if the grain price was stabilized. Now they don't care about each other's life or death. With the Chai family and the Su family selling, the grain price continued to fall, and finally stabilized at about 1.5 cents per catty. Ladies and gentlemen, I will lend you your grains. I will settle with you in cash in advance. Luo Hongjian gathered several grain merchants together again. Originally, there were 5 families, but now the Liang family is missing. The 4 grain merchants were in tears. Their combined cost was also 7 or 8 wen. Now Luo Hongjian paid back the money at 1.3 times the market price, less than 2 wen. Yes, Your Majesty. The 4 grain merchants said in unison. What can they do? Luo Hongjian harvested them by normal business means. They can only blame themselves for being too greedy. How much did you earn? The 4 grain merchants left, and Luo Hongjian hurriedly asked the Minister of Revenue Zhang Wendao. Zhang Wen trembled and said, Your Majesty, the price we sell is about 20 wen in total, and it only costs 2 wen per catty in exchange, so the profit margin is huge. Plus, the Liang family does not need to pay back the grain, and the total profit should be 150 million taels. His. Luo Hongjian was extremely shocked. In the past few years since she ascended the throne, she has spent a lot of money. The treasury was less than 50 million taels at its peak, but now it has made a profit of 150 million taels. What reward should I give to Ye Chen? Luo Hongjian thought to herself, if it weren't for Ye Chen's advice, how could she make so much money? As long as I stay in the Empress Palace, I am invincible. Author, New Di. Chapter 24. Xuanhuan played the piano, Xiaozu fed Ye Chen grapes, and Ye Chen lazily basked in the sun and read a book next to the big willow tree. This is what Luo Hongjian saw when she came to Fengming Palace. Inexplicably, she felt a little uncomfortable. It feels like my stuff is being taken over by someone else. His Majesty. Xuanhuan and Xiaozu saluted quickly when they saw Luo Hongjian appear. Hongjian, you said you are the king of a country after all, and we got married openly. Why do you always come here secretly? Ye Chen glanced at Luo Hongjian and said, he had no intention of getting up and saluting Luo Hongjian. You also know that I am the king of a country. Looking at you like this, I will punish you for contempt of the king. Luo Hongjian glared at Ye Chen and said. Ye Chen put down the book and looked at Luo Hongjian with a smile. My daughter-in-law is getting better and better every time I look at her, and I don't know when I can sleep with her in my arms. You guys go down first. Luo Hongjian waved her hand, and Xuanhuan, Xiaozu, and the others quickly left. Luo Hongjian took out a recliner from her space treasure, and she lay down next to Ye Chen leisurely. Ye Chen, the famine is over, and we have made a lot of money, with a total profit of 150 million taels. You have made great achievements, tell me what kind of reward you want, and I will give it to you. Luo Hongjian said with a smile. With money in the treasury and the end of the famine, she finally felt a lot more relaxed. She had been under great pressure in the past few months. Ye Chen said lazily, Hongjian, I don't have to worry about food and drink every day. I'm well dressed and well housed, and I don't lack anything. It's just that I feel a little lonely, empty, and cold when I go to bed at night. The smile on Luo Hongjian's face froze. Ye Chen is really trying to trick her again. I told you that I am determined to conquer the country. Xuanhuan and the others are very nice. I promised you that you can have intimacy with them. Don't waste your time here. Luo Hongjian took a deep breath and said. She found that as she got to know Ye Chen better and better, Ye Chen's weight in her heart seemed to increase a lot, which was not good. Ye Chen looked at Luo Hongjian with a half smile but not a smile. Hongjian, don't regret it when the time comes. Snort. Luo Hongjian snorted softly, I am the king of a country, and I will never regret my word. Okay. Ye Chen stopped talking to Luo Hongjian and continued to read his book leisurely. Luo Hongjian did not leave immediately. Gradually, the time reached noon. Hongjian, aren't you leaving yet? Ye Chen put down the book, he had to go have lunch. I'm eating here. Luo Hongjian hummed softly. As she spoke, she stood up and headed to the dining room first. Ye Chen followed her unhurriedly. After eating a few mouthfuls of food, Luo Hongjian's face changed slightly. She instantly reached Ye Chen and slapped him on the back. Puff. Ye Chen didn't use any strength. Luo Hongjian's palm slapped out the bit of food Ye Chen had just eaten. Beautiful, but also poisonous. Ye Chen frowned and said, it's over. He ignored the poisoning a few days ago, and after doing it for a few days, he actually poisoned his food again today. Ye Chen, tell me, what's going on? Luo Hongjian looked ugly. The first time she actually suspected that Ye Chen had someone poison her, the food was cooked by people from Fengming Palace. But Luo Hongjian immediately denied this, saying it was not toxic enough. Luo Hongjian is now at the 7th level of the God King, and the poison in the food can only poison people below the God King. The target is not her at all. Ye Chen said quietly, there was one time a few days ago. Eunuch Lu was very powerful and discovered a problem. Why didn't you tell anyone to tell me? You are my emperor and empress, poisoning you is poisoning me. Luo Hongjian said angrily. Ye Chen said quietly, Hongjian, your national affairs are the most important thing, so it's better not to disturb you. Besides, what if you know? I will kill him. Luo Hongjian was stunned before she finished speaking. Ye Chenfu was tightly tied up and rarely left Fengming Palace. There are no other concubines in the harem. The only person Ye Chen offended in Yandi Palace today was the Queen Mother. There is no need for people outside the palace to do this. It's also hard to poison. Thinking with her toes, Luo Hongjian knew that there was a 99% chance that the Queen Mother had someone poison her. In order to punish the Nine Clan, she must also be punished. Come here, go to the Yangzin Hall to tell Eunuch Cai to come over. Luo Hongjian said. Yes. Immediately, eunuchs from Fengming Palace hurried to Yangzin Palace, and Queen Mother Du's face changed slightly when she heard the news. The beauty is dining at Fengming Palace. Du asked. Yes, Queen Mother. The eunuch who came over said respectfully. Du Shi's face looked ugly. He didn't succeed last time. Maybe Ye Chen didn't eat that dish. Today she asked Eunuch Cai to poison him again. The AI family hasn't seen the Emperor and Empress for a long time. The AI family and Eunuch Cai will go over to have a look. Du Shi said. Half an hour passed before Queen Mother Du Sedan arrived at Fengming Palace. Eunuch Cai helped her enter Fengming Palace. I didn't know that when the Queen Mother arrived, my sons and ministers were far away to greet her. The Queen Mother and the others entered the dining room before Luo Hongjian stood up and bowed. Hongjian, the AI family came here on a whim and didn't notify you in advance. I don't blame you. Du Shi said softly, her eyes falling on Ye Chen. Does the Emperor and Empress have a problem with the AI family? The Emperor and the Empress don't even get up when the AI family comes over. Luo Hongjian said, Queen Mother, you have wronged the Emperor and Empress. The Emperor and Empress are not feeling well and cannot eat. Since the Queen Mother is here, she should eat something with her son. It would be pointless for her to eat alone. An old eunuch next to her immediately gave Du Shi more food. This old eunuch came from behind. He is the one who always protects Luo Hongjian. The cultivation level of the 8th level of the God Emperor. Eunuch Cai only has the 6th level of cultivation of the God Emperor, and is much weaker than this old eunuch. Your Majesty, this dish is good. I just ate it. Luo Hongjian said as she put some jade white mushrooms into the Queen Mother's bowl. It was this dish that was poisoned. Queen Mother Du does not have the cultivation level of a god king. Ijia is not hungry, Ijia just ate. Du quickly said that she had received the summons from Eunuch Cai, and a trace of panic flashed in her eyes. Luo Hongjian secretly sighed. She had an emperor's keen vision, and she had the 7th level of the God King. She was much stronger than Du Shi. How could the flash of panic in Du Shi's eyes be hidden from her? The poison must have been administered by Du Shi. The most powerful person around Du is Eunuch Cai, and only if he poisons can no one detect it. Your Majesty, I asked Eunuch Cai to come over. I have something to ask Eunuch Cai for help. There have been strange noises coming out of the demon suppression tower in Huishan recently. We are afraid of something happening. Eunuch Cai is very powerful. I want Eunuch Cai to help guard the demon suppression tower for a while. I wonder if the Queen Mother will let him go. As Luo Hongjian spoke, her imperial power was released, and her eyes looking at Eunuch Cai were even more solemn. The Queen Mother and Eunuch Cai instantly understood that if they agreed, this time things might just go away. If you don't agree, Eunuch Cai may move his head. Eunuch Cai's cultivation at the 6th level of the Divine Emperor is pretty good, but to say that he can challenge Luo Hongjian's imperial power is a joke. Hanjian, since you said so, can the AI family still refuse? But the AI family is also short of people, so there must be a time limit. Du Shi frowned. 3 years. How about eunuch CAI helping guard the demon suppression tower for 3 years? Luo Hanjian said, there are other powerful people on the other side of the demon suppressing tower. The emperors of the Tianyang dynasty are all retreating in the back mountain. If eunuch CAI guards there, he will not be able to escape from the back mountain in 3 years. Yes, your majesty. Eunuch CAI said respectfully. Luo Hanjian nodded slightly. Eunuch CAI, the demon suppression tower is of great importance. You cannot leave the back mountain without my order within 3 years. Do you understand? Your Majesty, I understand. Eunuch CAI was quickly sent away by 2 other old eunuchs. The weather was relatively hot, but Queen Mother Du felt a chill in her heart. She only has 2 powerful men at the level of God Emperors. Eunuch CAO has disappeared, and Eunuch CAI has also been sent to the back mountain. As long as I stay in the Empress Palace, I am invincible. Author, New Di. Chapter 25. Your Majesty, the food here is quite good. This dish in particular tastes very good. Do you really want to try it? Luo Hanjian smiled, picked up a piece of white jade mushroom and ate it. The poison in the white jade mushroom couldn't hurt her. Your Majesty, the white jade mushrooms here have a special flavor. I heard that another dish a few days ago also had a special flavor. Empress, if you encounter such a dish again, you must call me and the Queen Mother over immediately. You can't eat it alone. Ye Chen nodded with a smile. Du Shi said with a cold expression, Hanjian, Ijia suddenly feels sleepy, so we should go back and rest first. By the way, it will be Ijia's birthday in a while. Ijia doesn't want to celebrate this year, so don't make any arrangements. Eunuch CAO disappeared and Eunuch CAI was transferred away. Mrs. Du is not in the mood to celebrate her birthday at all. Congratulations to the Queen Mother. Luo Hanjian and Ye Chen sent Du Shi to the gate of Fengming Palace together. Empress, go to the Purple Dragon Palace tonight. Du Shi left, and Luo Hanjian left quickly without saying a word. Her face turned slightly red. Ye Chen's eyes lit up. Could he make up for the wedding tonight? Ye Chen arrived at the Purple Dragon Palace just after dark. It wasn't until 8 or 9 o'clock in the evening that Luo Hanjian returned to the Purple Dragon Palace, feeling nervous. Hanjian, go and wash yourself off. Ye Chen saw Luo Hanjian and said with a smile. Luo Hanjian almost staggered. After taking a bath, Luo Hanjian came out in pajamas. She was like a hibiscus out of water, and Ye Chen was stunned. Luo Hanjian is so perfect. Her appearance is incredible, and her figure is extremely proud. Don't look blindly, don't think nonsense. One person sleeps on the other side. Luo Hanjian rolled her eyes at Ye Chen and said. She asked Ye Chen to come over, but she had no intention of consummating her marriage with Ye Chen now, but she felt that Ye Chen was a little too wronged. If Lu Zhongliang hadn't discovered it, Ye Chen might have been poisoned to death. Thinking that Ye Chen might die, Luo Hanjian felt a little bit heartbroken. Since Ye Chen proposed that he want to sleep with her, she would satisfy Ye Chen a little bit, and she could accept just sleeping. It's not like I haven't slept before. Hanjian, I will only give you a hug, and I will definitely not do anything more. Ye Chen stretched out his hand and put it on Luo Hanjian's waist. Luo Hanjian's body stiffened, but she still did not stop Ye Chen after all. Hee, this small waist feels really good to the touch. Ye Chen's heart was agitated. In his previous life, he had been single for more than 20 years, had no money, no power, and no average-looking girlfriend, but now he could have a woman like Luo Hanjian. Outstanding appearance. Still the Empress. Although she hasn't completely won it yet, if she can sleep together and Luo Hanjian can still agree to him holding her slender waist, it should be a matter of time before she can win it. Ye Chen, don't push your limits any further, otherwise I will tap your acupuncture points. Luo Hongjian threatened. She noticed that Ye Chen's hand was moving upward at a slight speed. Ahem, my hands are slippery. Ye Chen coughed slightly and said, it seems that he can't climb further today. The revolution has not yet succeeded, comrades still need to work hard. Ye Chen, I can only do this for the Queen Mother. Luo Hongjian said softly. After all, the Queen Mother is the Queen Mother and her elder. The Tianyang dynasty emphasized filial piety and etiquette, and the Supreme Emperor gave her the throne. There was no way she could punish the Empress Dowager. Clear. Ye Chen said. He got a little closer to Luo Hongjian and could smell the fragrance emanating from Luo Hongjian's hair. Hongjian, what kind of place is the Demon Suppression Tower? Can you go and have a look at the Demon Suppression Tower when you have time in the future? Luo Hongjian quickly refused. Ye Chen, you must not get close to the Demon Suppressing Tower. There are many powerful demons imprisoned in the Demon Suppressing Tower. If you have a mere acquired level of cultivation, you may get seriously ill if you approach the Demon Suppressing Tower. Ye Chen, you are very knowledgeable, have superb chess skills, and have superb piano skills. Why can't you spend some time on training? The only way you can live longer is by improving your cultivation. Ye Chen was amused in his heart. He was now at the 8th level of the God King, and his combat power had reached the 2nd level of the God King. Luo Hongjian's current strength is much lower than him. If he didn't want Luo Hongjian to misunderstand and continue to sign in quietly in the Imperial Palace, he could easily defeat Luo Hongjian now. Luo Hongjian said before that if you defeat her, you can actually have a bridal chamber. Hongjian, I think my life is pretty good now and I don't want to change it. Let's talk about the rest later. Ye Chen said. Luo Hongjian sighed secretly. In the past, Ye Chen had vowed to surpass her in strength. Now that she probably knows her strength, she has completely lost her confidence. The night gradually passed, and Luo Hongjian didn't sleep that night. He didn't touch Ye Chen's acupuncture points. God knows what would happen if he fell asleep. Ye Chen slept soundly. When Ye Chen woke up, Luo Hongjian was no longer there. By this time, she had already gone to attend the morning court. Hongjian, what's going on? I didn't do much to you last night, right? You look like this and you want to kill someone. Not long after Ye Chen got up, Luo Hongjian came back from her morning session. Her face looked a little scary. Huh, it's okay. It has nothing to do with you. Luo Hongjian took a long breath and said. Ye Chen nodded slightly and didn't ask any more questions. The harem is not allowed to interfere in politics. Since it's not his fault, it must be something above the court, and he's not interested in knowing. Don't you ask? Luo Hongjian said that she had something to say that she couldn't help but speak out. Ye Chen smiled and said, Hongjian, if you take the initiative to speak out, I will listen. If you don't, forget it. Luo Hongjian also remembered the rule that the harem should not interfere in politics. It was taboo for Ye Chen to ask about it. Today's morning court, some guys questioned that I borrowed grain and sold it at a high price to make money from the people and to take advantage of the people. They also said that there have been many protests from the people. Luo Hongjian said angrily. That's it? Ye Chen was surprised. Luo Hongjian said unhappily, they said that I should have lowered the price earlier, so that the people would spend less money. Ye Chen shook his head, Hongjian, if you don't borrow grain to sell, the people can only pay a higher price, and many people will definitely starve to death. If you sell at a low price, the grain will definitely be sold out early, and you may face a situation where there is no grain to sell later. There will definitely be many rich people hoarding low-priced grain, and this part of the grain cannot reach the hands of those who really need it. Many people will starve to death. Luo Hongjian thought about it, and her heart gradually calmed down. Compared with the lives of the people, spending more money is nothing. The doubts of the people dash. Ye Chen said, "You are right, but it is also true that this action has earned a lot of money from the people. Take from the people, use it for the people. Just spend some of the money again." Luo Hongjian's eyes lit up. Take from the people, use it for the people. She felt that these 8 words are very good. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. As long as I stay in the Empress Palace, I am invincible. Author, New Di. Chapter 26. Ye Chen, Prime Minister Pei turned 70 today. I plan to go over to celebrate his birthday. Are you interested? After that day, Prime Minister Pei often mentioned you and wanted to learn chess skills with you. Luo Hongjian said. Not interested. Ye Chen shook his head. If he could sign in now, he might be interested in going to the Prime Minister's mansion. But I just signed in at Xuanhuan Palace last time, and it was still a month away. Forget it if you don't go. Prime Minister Pei has been working very hard during this period. What do you think I can give you as a congratulatory gift? Luo Hongjian did not force Ye Chen. She knew what kind of temper Ye Chen was. I just want to lie there and bask in the sun. Ye Chen said, Hongjian, you are the emperor. If you just write a few words to him, he will probably be very happy. He has nothing to think about. He is the prime minister, and he is not suitable to accept other valuable things. Luo Hongjian's pretty face turned red. If you ask her to hold a sword, she can dance like a flower, but if you ask her to hold a pen and write good calligraphy, it will be too difficult for her. Her calligraphy is ordinary and has no characteristics. She can just change it into a memorial or something. She can't afford to lose that person when she writes calligraphy. Zijo. Ye Chen said happily that he never expected that Luo Hongjian, an emperor and a powerful person at the level of a god king, could actually use ugly words. Luo Hongjian became angry. You can do it? You are the empress. If the empress gives him a word, it can also be used as a gift. Ye Chen stretched out 3 fingers. What's the meaning? Luo Hongjian was confused. Sleep like last night for 3 nights. Ye Chen said with a smile. Luo Hongjian stared at Ye Chen with beautiful eyes. Ye Chen is trying to push his limits. Having made great achievements in the past, and because she had been wronged by the Queen Mother, she only agreed last night that Ye Chen could go a little bit out of line. Now he actually asked for 3 nights. However, Luo Hongjian was also very curious about whether Ye Chen could calligraphy. If your level is high enough, it's not bad. If your level is average, you should go back to Fengming Palace as soon as possible. Luo Hongjian hummed. Grind ink. Ye Chen said with a smile. Are you kidding? When the god-level calligraphy he signed before was a joke. Luo Hongjian glared at Ye Chen. How brave she was to let her grind her ink. After a few minutes, Luo Hongjian finished polishing the ink. She wanted to see how good Ye Chen's calligraphy was. What to write? Ye Chen asked. Think for yourself. Luo Hongjian said angrily. Prime Minister Pei Hong still has a high reputation among the people, and he is a supporter of the Emperor Luo Hongjian. Ye Chen thought about it for a moment, dipped his ink and brushed his brush, and in a short time, a few big words appeared on the paper. The pillar of the country. 4 words, majestic. Luo Hongjian's eyes stared closely at the 4 words written by Ye Chen. They seemed to have magic power. Although the level is not good, Luo Hongjian has a high level of appreciation as an emperor. God-level calligraphy treasure. After a long time, Luo Hongjian came back to her senses and praised, Pei and the elders of the 2 dynasties can also bear the words pillar of the country. Luo Hongjian's beautiful eyes looked at Ye Chen. She was a little unbelievable. Chen has god-level piano skills, a god-level chess skill, and he is also so good at calligraphy. I chose an emperor and empress, but I actually picked such a monster. Or is it that there are already so many geniuses among the people today? Chen, you have god-level piano skills, god-level calligraphy, and god-level chess skills. Why were you so unknown before you entered the palace? Luo Hongjian was curious. Let alone the god level, any of these three could have a good reputation even if they were only at the same master level. Young people have the level of masters and are even more dazzling. Chen smiled and said nothing. How could he know these things before entering the palace? Luo Hongjian thoughtfully said, I understand, your strength is too weak, and there is no strong force behind you. If people know that you have such a level, it may not be a good thing for you. Chen chuckled, you are the empress, you are beautiful, and everything you say is right. Hongjian, please use your imperial seal to seal this picture. It is not appropriate for me as the emperor and empress to give birthday gifts to ministers. But Luo Hongjian frowned. Who didn't know what her handwriting looked like? Pei Xiang and the others. Chen said, I'm not asking you to say that you wrote the calligraphy. You can tell Xiang Pei that you paid a big price to ask someone else to write this calligraphy. In fact, you did pay a big price. He. Luo Hongjian rolled her eyes at Chen. That's fine. She is the emperor, and she specially asked a god-level person to write such a message to Prime Minister Pei. She is absolutely sincere. 2 hours later, Luo Hongjian, escorted by some palace masters, arrived at the Prime Minister's mansion, which was now full of guests. Your Majesty has arrived. Your Majesty gives Prime Minister Pei a pair of calligraphy treasures. The old eunuch beside Luo Hongjian said loudly. See Your Majesty. Prime Minister Pei Hong and many other guests who came over quickly saluted. Pei Hong was a little surprised. Your Majesty gave me a calligraphy treasure? He knew the level of Luo Hongjian's calligraphy. If it was Luo Hongjian's own handwriting, it would not be suitable for display. Thank you for Your Majesty's calligraphy treasure. I will treasure it well. Pei Hong took the calligraphy treasure and said respectfully, he planned to have someone put the calligraphy treasure away immediately, but he could not embarrass Luo Hongjian in public. Prime Minister Pei, what are you doing? His Majesty gave you a calligraphy treasure, and you plan to appreciate it by yourself in private. This is not kind. Master Peng said. As ministers of the same dynasty, even if they belong to different camps, he naturally came to celebrate Pei Hong's 70th birthday. Yes, Prime Minister Pei, it also opened our eyes. Prime Minister Pei, His Majesty's calligraphy is rare. Some other people spoke one after another. Of course they had some objections to Luo Hongjian becoming the emperor. This. Pei Hong was a little hesitant. Could he still know what those guys were thinking? Luo Hongjian chuckled and said, Prime Minister Pei, the calligraphy treasure I gave you is not invisible to others. Since everyone wants to see it, just open it and let everyone see it. Yes. Pei Hong nodded and smiled bitterly in his heart. Could it be that Luo Hongjian has been practicing calligraphy recently and has made some progress, but is a little bit arrogant? There were not just 1 or 2 people present who were great at calligraphy, and Tai Shipeng was even a master-level figure in calligraphy. If Luo Hongjian's calligraphy were at the level of a master, her skills would be enough to astound everyone, but Pei Hong knew that Luo Hongjian's calligraphy was far from the level of a master. Putting the scroll on the table, Pei Hong slowly unfolded it. This. When he saw the 4 words above, Pei Hong was stunned. His blood surged and tears filled his old eyes. The pillar of the country. His. The other people around also saw the words above clearly, and they were shocked. This evaluation was quite high. As a minister, it is enough to have 4 words like this in your life. This word is so powerful. Yeah, how come this word makes me feel alive? The people around were shocked by the content for the first time, but soon they discovered the extraordinariness of these 4 words. Pei Hong himself quickly realized the extraordinary character of calligraphy. He has a master's level in calligraphy. He has seen Tai Shi Pang's calligraphy more than once, but it is far inferior to Tai Shi Pang's calligraphy. Good words, good words. This is a god-level calligraphy treasure. Master Pang said with an excited expression. Although he belongs to different camps, he really loves calligraphy. With a god-level calligraphy treasure in front of him, there is no way he would belittle it without conscience. Besides, the others are not blind either. The people around were even more shocked. God-level calligraphy, coupled with these 4 words, the weight of this gift exceeded all of them. Your Majesty, I am so grateful. Pei Hong saluted deeply. Luo Hongjian said with a smile, Prime Minister Pei doesn't need to be polite. Pei quite deserves these 4 words. Unfortunately, I can't use my own words, so I can only ask someone to write these 4 words. As long as Mr. Pei likes it. I like it very much. Pei Hong said quickly. Some people around him looked envious. This gift was really thoughtful. As soon as the new ink was dried, Luo Hongjian probably invited a god-level calligrapher to the Tianyang dynasty and specially wrote this calligraphy today. Some people in Pei Hong's circle were originally dissatisfied with a woman being the emperor. Now seeing the importance Luo Hongjian attaches to Pei Hong, the dissatisfaction in their hearts gradually fades away. If Luo Hongjian could do this as an emperor, what else could they have to be dissatisfied with as ministers? Even some people who don't support Luo Hongjian have some recognition of Luo Hongjian in their hearts. A piece of calligraphy has a strong effect on winning people's hearts. As long as I stay in the Empress Palace, I am invincible. Author, New Di. Chapter 27. Damn it! Prince Mu Luo Yuanmu's face was gloomy. Luo Yuanmu also came to the Prime Minister's 70th birthday, and he prepared a very good gift. But when Luo Hongjian's gift came out, he was killed instantly. God-level calligraphy, the 4-character comment of the pillar of the country, the Emperor's grace, what can he compare with? My dear sister, you won this round, but you must return to the Imperial Palace alive today. Luo Yuanmu's heart was boiling with murderous intent. The longer it dragged on, he knew that the more disadvantageous it would be for him, and the more people would agree with Luo Hongjian's rule. Luo Yuanmu had planned to get rid of Luo Hongjian long ago. However, regicide was such a big deal that he did not dare to act rashly and spent 3 years carefully planning. Today is Pei Hong's 70th birthday, which is a rare opportunity. 9 resentful dragon pillars had long been buried in the places around Pei's mansion, and these resentful dragon pillars had been soaked in the resentful blood pool. The blood in the resentful blood pool came from unborn babies. A pool full of blood is very troublesome. This work took Luo Yuanmu half a year. There are complex runes engraved on the dragon pillar, and these runes were engraved by masters at a great cost by Luo Yuanmu. All the dragon pillars have been soaked in the pool of blood for 2 years. Half a year ago, they were driven into the ground here, and it took a lot of time to perfectly cover up the aura of the dragon pillars. Prince Pei, I feel unwell suddenly, so I will go back first. I will come to visit you again in the future. Luo Yuanmu bowed his hands. Prince Mu, take care. Pei Hong knew that Luo Yuanmu must be uncomfortable at this moment, so it was normal for him to leave early. Your Majesty, goodbye. Luo Yuanmu bowed his hands to Luo Hongjian with an indifferent expression and turned away. Many people in Pei Mansion secretly breathed a sigh of relief. Luo Hongjian and Luo Yuanmu were both here, and they were under great pressure. Luo Hongjian is the emperor, but Prince Mu's power is also very strong. Enemy attack. Protect the emperor. Luo Yuanmu was less than 1,000 meters away from Pei's house, and his guards shouted, and a terrifying breath came from there. Several strong men surrounded Luo Yuanmu. Save him. Luo Hongjian's face changed and she said immediately that Luo Yuanmu could die, but not now. Even more, he couldn't die only a few hundred meters away from her. Your Majesty, but... The strong men who were protecting Luo Hongjian hesitated. Luo Yuanmu was just a prince, and their first priority was to protect Luo Hongjian. It's enough to have Eunuch Ning protect me, save people quickly. Luo Hongjian said sternly. Swish. Swish. There were only 3 God Emperor level strong men who came out to protect Luo Hongjian this time, and 2 of them immediately rushed to Luo Yuanmu. Die. A black shadow pounced on Luo Hongjian like lightning. Protect the Emperor. The Eunuch Ning beside Luo Hongjian took action at the first time. He was a strong man of the 8th level of God Emperor. The golden barrier opened, protecting Luo Hongjian inside. Crack. The barrier was on the verge of collapse with one blow. The strong man who attacked was a 9th level Divine Emperor, much stronger than Eunuch Ning. Kill. There was another Divine Emperor among the guests. This strong man also had the strength of the 7th level Divine Emperor. He was good at assassination and could instantly burst out the power of the 8th level Divine Emperor. Crack. The barrier, which was about to collapse, could not withstand the full force of the 2nd Divine Emperor killer. The barrier collapsed completely. Eunuch Ning spurted blood from his mouth. The broken barrier had a strong impact on him. Boom. As an emperor, Luo Hongjian had a lot of good things on her body, and she also activated the defense of those things at this moment. But facing the attacks of 2 top divine emperors, these things seemed fragile. In the blink of an eye, these defenses were broken. Luo Hongjian was not too panicked. As an emperor, she also had the blessing of the emperor's aura, which was enough to resist her for a little time. The 2 powerful God Emperors who supported Prince Mu were already returning. A few hundred meters was extremely short for the God Emperors. They could come back to protect the Emperor in 1 or 2 seconds. Buzz. At this moment, the heaven and earth shook, and the power of the 9 resentful dragon pillars burst out instantly, and the entire Pei mansion was enveloped in it. 9 blood dragons emerged from the ground and pounced on Luo Hongjian at the same time. They devoured the imperial energy on Luo Hongjian at a very fast speed. Damn it! The 2 God Emperors outside the Pei mansion were very anxious. The blood-colored barrier enveloped the Pei mansion, and they could not break through the barrier immediately to enter. Luo Hongjian's eyes showed despair. My life is over. If I had known this, I would have let Ye Chen get away with it. The imperial energy dissipated, and the 9 blood dragons actually merged into one in an instant, and the real blood dragons pounced on Luo Hongjian fiercely. Your Majesty. Eunuch Ning was extremely shocked. Luo Hongjian would definitely not be able to withstand such an attack. This attack reached the level of the Great Emperor. In a very short time, the blood dragon was less than half a foot away from Luo Hongjian, and Luo Hongjian felt an extremely strong threat of death. At this moment, the guardian ring on the ring finger of Luo Hongjian's left hand lit up, and the faint white light protected Luo Hongjian inside. Boom! The blood dragon directly exploded with all its power. The violent power surged, and most of the entire Pei mansion collapsed in an instant. However, Luo Hongjian stood there, safe and sound. The guardian ring can withstand 1 semi-saint level attack, or 10 emperor level attacks. How could it be? The 2 top emperors who were trying to assassinate were shocked, but they did not stop. One of them resisted the attack of Eunuch Ning, and the other attacked Luo Hongjian. Having just resisted the attack of the blood dragon, they did not believe that Luo Hongjian's defensive treasures had any spare power. Dang! The sword of this strong man stabbed half a foot in front of Luo Hongjian's forehead. The guardian white light appeared again, and his powerful attack did not hurt Luo Hongjian at all. Protect the Emperor. The blood-colored barrier that enveloped Pei's mansion disappeared at the moment the blood dragon dissipated, and the 2 emperors outside Pei's mansion immediately rushed in. Retreat. The strong man of the 9th level of Emperor crushed a precious escape bead. A black ball of light appeared, and the two top assassins immediately entered the ball of light. In the blink of an eye, the ball of light disappeared. As soon as the black ball of light disappeared, a terrifying divine thought extended over, and a few seconds later an old man in a green robe appeared here. He stood there, like a god or demon. Ancestor. Luo Hongjian hurriedly saluted. This old man in green robe was the only great emperor in Tianyang dynasty, a living fossil-level figure. Yes. The old man in green robe nodded slightly. His emperor-level consciousness spread all over the sky, but he did not find the two top masters who escaped. The escape bead made by the great emperor-level master. The old man in green robe frowned secretly. The escape bead can isolate the breath, and the speed is super fast, which is not easy to track. Your Majesty, you can be safe and sound under such an attack. It is a blessing for our Tianyang dynasty. The old man in green robe disappeared after saying this. He was very curious that Luo Hongjian was not dead, but Luo Hongjian was the emperor, and it was not good for him to inquire about Luo Hongjian's secrets. It seems that this ring just resisted the attack. Luo Hongjian was extremely shocked. The ring that Ye Chen gave her actually had such a strong defensive power. As long as I stay in the Empress Palace, I am invincible. Author, New Di. Chapter 28. Most of Pei's house was destroyed, many people were injured or even died, and Master Pei looked dazed. How could a good birthday banquet turn out like this? Pei Hong, you have ulterior motives. You dare to set a trap to ambush masters to assassinate His Majesty and Prince Mu. Luo Yuanliang roared. Pei Hong's heart was shocked and he came back to his senses. He walked towards Luo Hongjian tremblingly, and two God Emperor level strongmen blocked him. Your Majesty, I deserve to die. I held a birthday banquet and put Your Majesty in danger. Pei Hong knelt down and said bitterly. He didn't know how to explain. The resentful dragon pillar was set up on the Pei family's side, and two God Emperor level strongmen mixed into the Pei family. Prime Minister Pei, don't blame yourself. I know that this matter has absolutely nothing to do with Prime Minister Pei. There are casualties in your house, so deal with these things first, Luo Hongjian said gently, who is the mastermind behind the scenes. I will definitely find out the truth later. Your Majesty, the guilty minister, thank you, Pei Hong kowtowed heavily, and he was extremely grateful in his heart. If something like this happened in the Pei family, normally, whether Pei Hong was involved or not, his responsibility would not be small. I will go back to the palace first, Prime Minister Pei, Master Pang, you guys deal with this, Luo Hongjian said in a deep voice. After such a thing happened, she, as an emperor, should return to a safe place immediately. Yes, Your Majesty, Master Pang and Pei Hong said at the same time. Luo Hongjian quickly returned to the Tianyang Imperial Palace under the protection of 3 Divine Emperor-level strongmen and several Divine King-level strongmen. When she arrived inside the Imperial Palace, Luo Hongjian secretly breathed a sigh of relief. The entire Imperial Palace is arranged with a powerful formation. If a great Emperor-level strongman trespasses, he must weigh the consequences. Brother, you are too cruel. A cold light flashed in Luo Hongjian's eyes. She is not stupid. This matter is definitely not planned by Pei Hong. Pei Hong is a veteran of the 2 dynasties. He is already the prime minister. He has no need to do this. The most likely person is Luo Yuanmu. Luo Yuanliang is not underestimated by Luo Hongjian. He should not have such ability. Luo Yuanmu has such energy and motivation. If she dies, Luo Yuanmu may ascend to the throne. It is difficult to convict Luo Yuanmu. He was also attacked and even injured. Although Luo Yuanmu was attacked before, it is very likely to lure away the masters around Luo Hongjian, but can this be used as evidence? On the surface, Luo Yuanmu is also a victim? With his status and position, he cannot be convicted without ironclad evidence. If it weren't for this ring, I would definitely die today. Luo Hongjian stroked the guardian ring on the ring finger of her left hand with her right hand. She had the urge to ask Ye Chen immediately. However, Luo Hongjian still restrained this impulse. Going to Fengming Palace at this time may bring trouble to Ye Chen. Luo Yuanmu and the others are not fools. After waiting until night, Luo Hongjian quietly arrived at Fengming Palace. Ye Chen didn't know that Luo Hongjian was attacked today, and he had already gone to bed. Your Majesty. Dong Mei saluted outside the bedroom. Luo Hongjian waved her hand, and Dong Mei immediately retreated. Hongjian, why are you here so late? Ye Chen opened the door and asked in confusion when he heard the voice. You are my empress, do I need to notify you in advance when I come to sleep? Luo Hongjian entered the room, and then she actually undressed and went to bed in thin pajamas. Ye Chen hurried to the bed and covered it with a thin quilt. It is summer now, but Fengming Palace has a formation, and the temperature is estimated to be only about 20 degrees. Hongjian, is there something wrong? Ye Chen lay face to face with Luo Hongjian, and his hand naturally hugged Luo Hongjian's slender waist. Then his hand slowly moved down. 1 centimeter, and another centimeter. Don't move, Ye Chen, I have something to ask you. What is the origin of the ring you gave me? Luo Hongjian asked. She was puzzled. How could Ye Chen have such a thing? The defensive light curtain released by the ring actually resisted the attack of the Emperor level, and then resisted the attack of the 7th level of the Divine Emperor. I picked it up. You should know that I have traveled to many places before, and once I picked up this ring by the river. Ye Chen said with a smile. Luo Hongjian took off the ring. Ye Chen, this ring is very good, you should wear it yourself in the future, don't lose it. Ye Chen rolled his eyes. Hongjian, please look carefully, it is worn by women, and I, a grown man, wear this thing? Besides, this is the wedding ring I gave you when we got married, why do you give it back to me? It is extremely valuable. Luo Hongjian said seriously. Ye Chen held Luo Hongjian tightly in his arms. No matter how valuable it is, it's just a dead thing. How can it be better than a fragrant wife, right? I don't lack food or clothes. No matter how valuable it is, it's a waste to me. Just take it. Luo Hongjian struggled a little but didn't break free. Let me go. No, you came to my door yourself. Just sleep like this tonight. If you move again, I can't guarantee that I won't do anything else. Ye Chen laughed. Don't do anything else, otherwise I will leave immediately. Luo Hongjian closed her eyes after saying this. Her eyelashes trembled slightly, and her heart was very uneasy. When she was on the verge of death before, she thought it would be better to give it to Ye Chen, but now that she was out of danger, she changed her mind. Sleeping like this for a night is the limit that Luo Hongjian can accept. Okay. Ye Chen smiled. Only 10 to 20 centimeters away, he looked at Luo Hongjian's flawless pretty face. There was only faint starlight tonight, and the room was dark, but Ye Chen could see it clearly. He has the cultivation of the Divine Emperor level. And he also has the void-breaking Divine Eye. You, what are you looking at? Looking at the beauty. Luo Hongjian's face flushed and she snorted softly. You are so slick, I shouldn't have chosen you as the Empress. A night passed, and Ye Chen did not fall asleep. It's rare to hold his wife and appreciate his wife's sleeping face up close. Isn't it sweet? Luo Hongjian did not fall asleep either. Although she closed her eyes, she could clearly feel that Ye Chen's eyes were always on her. Hongjian, get up. Ye Chen said and kissed Luo Hongjian like lightning. Luo Hongjian instantly opened her eyes and stared at Ye Chen. Don't look at me like that, don't you know good morning kiss? Ye Chen laughed. They had kissed each other in Xuanhuan Palace, and now they kissed each other again. He believed that Luo Hongjian would get used to it after kissing each other. Will they be able to take it a step further then? He. Rogue. Luo Hongjian rolled her eyes at Ye Chen and got up instantly. Such a big thing happened yesterday, so she would be busy at the morning court today. Eunuch Lu, go find out what happened yesterday. It was still early, and Ye Chen slept for a while and got up to order. Eunuch Lu quickly got the news. Empress, your majesty was attacked at Pei Mansion yesterday. The assassins were 2 God Emperor level strongmen, one of whom was a God Emperor of the 9th level, and the other a God Emperor of the 7th level. In addition, 9 resentful dragon pillars were set up early on at Pei Mansion. Eunuch Lu said respectfully. Ye Chen's eyes flashed with brilliance. It seemed that Luo Hongjian should have encountered a powerful attack, and the Guardian Ring provided protection. What a loss, the Guardian Ring saved Hongjian's life, but I only held her for one night. Ye Chen muttered. Eunuch Lu looked calm. He knew that Luo Hongjian was able to survive because of Ye Chen. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. As long as I stay in the Empress Palace, I am invincible. Author, New Dit. Chapter 29. For 3 consecutive days, morning was like a vegetable market. Some people defend Peihong, while others desperately want to drag Peihong down. Luo Hongjian was so noisy that she had a headache. Ye Chen, you really enjoy it? Luo Hongjian quietly arrived at Fengming Palace again and said angrily when she saw Ye Chen lying there comfortably in the sun. Hey, Hongjian, that's what you said. I am the Emperor and Empress. Isn't it okay to participate in government affairs if I can't bask in the sun comfortably here? Ye Chen glanced at Luo Hongjian and said, he had no intention of getting up to salute. Luo Hongjian was speechless. Get up and let me lie down. Luo Hongjian raised her hand, and an invisible force grabbed Ye Chen, who was moved to the recliner. Luo Hongjian lay down happily. Hongjian, I don't want you to be such a bully. If one day my strength exceeds yours, don't blame me for being rude. Ye Chen curled his lips and said. He is now much stronger than Luo Hongjian. As long as Luo Hongjian resisted just now, it would be impossible for Luo Hongjian to move him away. Humph, if that day comes, I'll let you bully me, but it's a pity that this day won't come. Luo Hongjian glanced at Ye Chen. Ye Chen still has an acquired level of cultivation, she can see clearly. That's what you said? Ye Chen said with a smile. Let him bully you, this is good. With Luo Hongjian's looks and figure, it would be great if she could be bullied casually in bed. However, Ye Chen still has not exposed his thoughts so far. Lying flat and sluggish, wretched, and grown, doesn't it smell good? The cultivation of the 3rd level of the God Emperor is already very strong, but it is not enough. His relationship with Luo Hongjian is not that good yet. If she knew his strength, Luo Hongjian might not come to him. We don't even rule out the possibility of being abolished. I said it, you have no joke. Luo Hongjian was domineering and had no worries about Ye Chen's strength surpassing hers. She is already at the 7th level of the God King. The God Emperor is not far away either. Even Ye Chen's innate level would be difficult. Hongjian, why are you here today? Ye Chen looked down at Luo Hongjian from the side and said, from his angle, he could enjoy the unusual scenery. Luo Hongjian said calmly, I'm here to tell you something. I have already avenged your parents' revenge for you. The Black Sand Gang, and some of the people who support the Black Sand Gang, will all be uprooted. Ye Chen was stunned. He was still thinking about when he would leave the palace to destroy the Black Sand Gang and avenge his parents. Luo Hongjian actually solved it? Thanks. Ye Chen said softly. It's a pity not to take revenge personally, but it's good that Luo Hongjian can consider this. If you want to thank me, play a song for me. Luo Hongjian looked at Ye Chen with her beautiful eyes. Following Ye Chen's line of sight, she glanced down, immediately covered her chest and gave Ye Chen a big white eye. Look how your wife is doing. Ye Chen smiled and walked towards Guqin not far away. The pleasant sound of the piano soon sounded. When the song ended, Luo Hongjian thought about it for a long time. Ye Chen, you have amazing talent, but entering the palace may have buried you. Luo Hongjian sighed softly. God-level piano skills, God-level calligraphy, God-level chess skills, and poetry are also very strong. If you show them casually, you will definitely become world famous. Ye Chen smiled and said, so, Hongjian, you must make it up to me. Will you sleep here tonight? Luo Hongjian disappeared in an instant. 10 days passed, and it was time to sign in again. Ye Chen was thinking about where to sign in. There were some palaces in the harem that he disdained. Many palaces in the harem are where noble concubines and concubines live. These palaces are much worse than Fengming Palace. But it's not enough to sign in at Fengming Palace frequently, as the rewards will be reduced. Where can I sign in? It would be nice if I could sign a better technique. Ye Chen secretly thought that the technique he was currently practicing was still the ancient dragon elephant technique, which was only an A-level technique. It's not like he hasn't acquired other A-level skills during this period, but they are not as good as the ancient dragon elephant skill. Ye Chen wants S-level skills. Just 3 days ago, his cultivation had officially reached the realm of the God Emperor, and his combat power had reached the 4th level of the God Emperor. When he reached the level of God Emperor, Ye Chen clearly felt that his training speed had slowed down. Empress, Your Majesty has asked you to have dinner at the Purple Dragon Palace tonight. The eunuch sent by Luo Hongjian came to Fengming Palace to convey the oral instructions. Ye Chen's eyes lit up. If there was no better place, it would be a good idea to sign in at the Purple Dragon Palace. It will definitely be better than here at Fengming Palace. In the evening, Ye Chen arrived at the Purple Dragon Palace. Besides Luo Hongjian, there was another girl in the Purple Dragon Palace. Brother-in-law of the Empress. The girl was 13 or 14 years old. When she saw Ye Chen, she quickly saluted with a smile. Ye Chen immediately recognized this girl. She was Princess Luo Yudi of Chang'e, the daughter of concubine Shu. Concubine Shu is the wife of the Supreme Emperor. Her mother died when she was just born. Luo Hongjian was raised by concubine Shu, and she was very close to concubine Shu. Concubine Shu only has one child, Princess Chang'e. What a beautiful girl. Ye Chen secretly praised it. There is nothing to say about Luo Yudi's appearance. She is an absolute beauty and will definitely become a top beauty when she grows up. Such a lowly girl will be the favorite of some weird uncles. However, Ye Chen has no interest in a young girl like her. His wife is stunningly beautiful. Just call me brother-in-law, no need to add the word emperor or empress. Ye Chen said with a smile. Luo Yudi chuckled and said, Brother-in-law, it seems that you have a very good relationship with Sister Hongjian. Next to her, Luo Hongjian introduced, Ye Chen is Aunt Chu's daughter, Princess Chang'e. The emperor wants to go to another place to seek a breakthrough. Aunt Chu needs to accompany her. Aunt Chu will leave Chang'e to my care. I am busy with state affairs, and often I cannot take care of Chang'e. If you are idle, you will be idle. How about letting Chang'e live with you for a while? Ye Chen was startled. Where does Luo Yudi live? Hongjian, is this appropriate? Although I am an empress, I am still a man. Ye Chen coughed slightly and said. Luo Hongjian said calmly, Ye Chen, Chang'e can beat 100 men like you, she is born at the 7th level. Ye Chen. Luo Yudi chuckled and said, Brother-in-law, don't worry, I won't hit you. If any servants are disobedient, I can help you vent your anger, he. Brother-in-law, I heard that you are very good at chess. You can teach me how to play chess. After having dinner together, Luo Yudi went to Fengming Palace by herself. He said that he would not disturb Yechen and the others. Yechen has to give Luo Yudi a thumbs up for this. Yechen, you can teach Chang Li how to play chess when the time comes. She is quite interested in this aspect. Luo Hongjian said softly. Yechen couldn't refuse, and the two of them were lying on the bed now. And still holding it? Don't do bad things, or I will punish you. After Luo Hongjian finished speaking, she closed her eyes and fell asleep not long after. She was very tired during this period. Is this an increase in your trust in me? Yechen muttered in his heart. It turned out that the two of them slept together while he admired her all night, but Luo Hongjian didn't sleep at all at night. System, sign in twice. Sign in the Purple Dragon Palace and receive the S-level reward 89 mystical skills. After practicing, you can have an indestructible body with 72 transformations. The sound of the system made Yechen extremely excited. He actually obtained an S-level skill, the mythical skill 89 mysterious skills. Sign in the Purple Dragon Palace and receive the A-level reward of the Emperor's True Fire. The Emperor's True Fire is invisible and qualityless. It can absorb the imperial energy to grow, and can improve the physique of people below half-saint level. Yechen secretly said that the things he signed in for the second time were also very good. But he can't use this Emperor's True Fire, he has no royal energy. Luo Hongjian is very good to use. System, give the Emperor's True Fire to Luo Hongjian. The next second, Yechen noticed that something entered Luo Hongjian's body, and that thing was naturally the Emperor's True Fire. The Emperor's True Fire is still very weak at this moment and needs to absorb the imperial energy to grow. As long as I stay in the Empress Palace, I am invincible. Author, New Di. Chapter 30. System, equip the 8-9 mysterious techniques. Yechen thought to himself, his eyes filled with excitement. Having a skill like the 89 mysterious techniques will definitely make his cultivation stronger and more powerful. 8-9 mysterious gong has been equipped and has been suspended for practice. Acquire an indestructible body, obtain 72 transformations, and reach the 5th level of the God Emperor in combat power. Along with the sound of the system, a lot of information poured into Yechen's mind. Yechen clearly felt that even if his arms and legs were broken, he could recover, and he could transform into other things at will. Flying into the clouds and driving the mist, calling for the wind and rain, these are no problem, they are just some of the basic methods included in the 8-9 mysterious techniques. Tisk, tisk, the strength of the 5th level of the God Emperor is amazing. And now that I have both the 89 mysterious techniques and the ancient dragon elephant technique, my training speed will be much faster. It shouldn't take too long to reach the 2nd level of the God Emperor, and my strength can reach the 6th level of the God Emperor. Yechen was satisfied. There are not many people in the entire imperial palace whose strength exceeds the 6th level of the God Emperor. Boom. At 3 o'clock in the morning, it was dark outside, and the female officer Nangongneng hurriedly came and knocked on the inner door of the palace. Luo Hongjian woke up with a start. When she opened her eyes, she saw Yechen looking at her with a smile on his face. The two were facing each other, very close to each other. Luo Hongjian's heartbeat accelerated slightly, and she quickly got up. Nangongneng quickly entered the room, but the bed curtain blocked her from seeing Yechen, and she could only see Yechen's shoes. Your Majesty, something happened to Prime Minister Pei. Xiang Pei committed suicide by taking poison. His body was found by his family and has been reported to the official. Nangongneng said hurriedly. What? Luo Hongjian's face suddenly changed, and the mighty imperial power burst out from her body. Pei Hong's case has been determined to be the work of other gangsters. She has no intention of blaming Pei Hong. How could Pei Hong commit suicide? Inform the Black Dragon Forbidden Army that I will leave the palace overnight to check the situation. Luo Hongjian said sharply. Yes, Your Majesty. Nangongneng left immediately to make arrangements. Luo Hongjian's departure from the palace was not a trivial matter and it took a little time to prepare. Things like last time must never happen again. Hongjian, I will go with you to see Prime Minister Pei. Prime Minister Pei is the Prime Minister. If something happens to him, it is my duty as the Empress to go out of the palace to visit him. Ye Chen got up and said, this kind of thing is not considered political interference in the harem. Good. Luo Hongjian thought about it for a while and nodded gently. Pei Hong was still thinking about competing with Ye Chen in chess before he died. A quarter of an hour later, 3,000 Black Dragon Guards were dispatched to escort Luo Hongjian and Ye Chen out of the palace. Ye Chen clearly felt that there were several God Emperor level experts in the team. Before reaching their destination, Ye Chen and his team met Prince Mu's team. Your Majesty, I just received the bad news and was going to visit Prime Minister Pei. I didn't expect that Your Majesty would be so quick. Prince Mu Luo Xuanhuan got off the carriage and cupped his hands. Luo Hongjian looked at Luo Xuanhuan coldly. During this period, some people who supported Prince Mu attacked Pei Hong unceremoniously. She tried her best to protect Pei Hong, so that Pei Hong's position as Prime Minister was not removed. I didn't expect such a thing to happen. If there was no shadow of Luo Xuanhuan behind this, Luo Hongjian would not believe it. But again, without ironclad evidence, it would be impossible to do anything to Luo Xuanhuan. Prince Mu is interested. However, there may be something fishy about Prime Minister Pei's death. It is not appropriate for Prince Mu to go there for the time being. I can just go and visit. Luo Hongjian said coldly. Luo Xuanhuan sighed softly, Your Majesty, Prime Minister Pei committed suicide by taking poison, which means that the previous events are probably related to him. However, Prime Minister Pei has done a lot for the country. Please don't embarrass his family. Don't bother Prince Mu. Luo Hongjian lowered the carriage curtain. Ye Chen came in the same carriage as Luo Hongjian, and he saw Luo Hongjian's face full of anger. This matter is absolutely inseparable from Prince Mu. Ye Chen, your talent is amazing and your chess skills are superb. You can be the Prime Minister of a country. A talent like you trapped in the Palace of Death is a great loss to our Tianyang dynasty. If you support me in becoming Emperor, I can promise you the position of Prime Minister. Then, wouldn't it be great to use heaven and earth as chess pieces and all living beings as chess pieces? Prince Mu's voice sounded directly in Ye Chen's mind. Ye Chen's eyes sparkled. Prince Mu actually attracted him. He also promised the position of Prime Minister. Don't tell me, it's quite attractive. If you had to choose between the position of Emperor and Empress or the position of Prime Minister, 99% of the time, you would probably choose the Prime Minister. The Emperor and Empress are in the harem, even if they have a noble status, how many people can they command? The Prime Minister has a high position and great power. Ye Chen, I've figured it out and go to the Yangzin Palace to inform the Queen Mother. I want to be the king. You have nothing to say. If you help me ascend to the throne, you will be 100% my Prime Minister. If you are infatuated with Luo Hongjian, I will not kill Luo Hongjian, but destroy her cultivation and make her your plaything. Money, beauty, and power will all be yours by then. It will be 10,000 times better than now. Ye Chen and his team moved forward, and Prince Mu once again sent a message to Ye Chen. Tisk tisk, this temptation is really awesome. It's a pity that the Prime Minister can't sign in the Imperial Palace. Ye Chen sneered in his heart, another person would probably be won over by Prince Mu, but Prince Mu thought too much to win over him. Even if Prince Mu really makes him Prime Minister when the time comes, what good is the Prime Minister's hard work? Today's day is the most suitable for a salty fish like Ye Chen. Luo Xuanmu's eyes flashed, he deliberately took this path, mainly to tell Yechen these things. Pei Hong died, it would be easiest to persuade Yechen tonight? Benefits plus the threat of death, carrot in one hand and stick in the other, Luo Yuanmu thought there should be 90% hope. Hanjian, Prince Mu just sent me a message, asking me to support him to become emperor, and promised me the position of prime minister. Yechen sent a voice message to Luo Hanjian. Luo Hanjian's face changed slightly. Luo Yuanmu was really able to speak up to promise the position of prime minister. Yechen, what do you think? Luo Hanjian said, her heartbeat quickened. If Yechen really supported Luo Yuanmu, she would be extremely disappointed. She would even feel heartbroken. Even if there was no further development, she and Yechen had slept in the same bed several times. Hanjian, the position of prime minister is such a great temptation. I will lose too much if I refuse, you have to compensate me well. I have a few sets of clothes, how about you wear them for me to see? Yechen sent a voice message with a smile. Some time ago, he signed in and got a big gift bag, which contained many things. Black silk, maid outfit, nurse outfit, etc. If Luo Hanjian wore those, I dare not think about it, I dare not think about it. Her nose would bleed. The clothes cannot be too revealing. Luo Hanjian thought about it and said. This is considered to be a promise to Yechen. She did not agree because she was afraid of Yechen's betrayal, but Yechen's words had already shown his attitude, and she was moved. Don't worry, it will definitely not be too revealing. Yechen said excitedly. If he didn't have something important to do now, he wanted to return with Luo Hanjian immediately and let Luo Hanjian wear it for him to see. 10 minutes later, Yechen and his carriage arrived at the new Pei mansion, which was much smaller than the original Pei mansion. Greetings to His Majesty. Greetings to the Empress. Pei Hong's eldest son Pei Zhen led many people from the Pei mansion to kneel down to greet them, and they looked extremely sad.